Many years ago, my dad had a computer. I loved to play games on that computer, and I quickly filled the hard drive with many different ones. As the hard drive filled, the performance suffered. So I decided, in my youthful wisdom, to solve the problem by removing wasteful files that were cluttering the memory. These were files that I didn't think served a purpose. I went through the documents folder and I found a kilobyte here and another one there. And then I saw the jackpot. A wasteful file with many megabytes of data, labeled Windows. Surely this file had many things in it that were unnecessary. With excitement, I began the task of deleting any file that did not seem to me to be useful. After much deleting, I indeed had gained more free hard drive space. But something strange was happening. The computer began to malfunction. It got worse though. The next time I tried to start the computer, I was met with errors and with blue screens. Those files that I thought were unimportant turned out to be vital for the proper running of the computer. Why do I tell this story? Because I think the independence movement in Alberta has a similar problem. We're definitely all tired and fed up with Ottawa, there's no question. And we're fed up with the problems that we see in the country, with the structural issues that we're seeing all around us. We're ready to do something about it. We're ready to start deleting files, as it were. Out of frustration, however, some of the people in the independence movement are, I think, targeting the wrong things. In a way, they're deleting the wrong files. Some are attacking the Crown. Some are attacking the Westminster system. Some are attacking all of Canada. Some are attacking Easterners. And some even are attacking the Conservative Party of Canada or the United Conservative Party of Alberta. As I watch this, I grow increasingly concerned. While there are problems that Alberta needs to overcome, we need to see the true source of those problems, or we're just as liable to delete some good things as we are to solve the problem. So I think what we should do is look at these above one at a time and ask ourselves, is this really the problem that we're facing in Alberta? Is this the thing that's breaking us or that we need to change? So let's begin with the Crown. The Crown is actually a useful and an important element of our Constitution, keeping final power from the hands of the Prime Minister and ensuring that there is a fail-safe should politicians ever go completely off the rails. It provides a useful focus for nonpartisan loyalty, and it enables us to be deeply loyal while we're still opposing the government. I can totally pledge my allegiance to the Crown and still think the Prime Minister is not the greatest at the same time. The Crown is not actually a secret cabal of Illuminati puppet masters controlling the world through their hidden councils. We can relax and we can be confident that the King has not been responsible for any of the problems that Alberta has encountered in the last century. The Westminster system is the next one to look at. And it's a form of government, of constitutional parliamentary government that is used and altered all over the world by former colonies of the British Empire or just by other people who realize that it's a good basic form of government. It's able to be altered and adjusted as needed, and it still provides a basic structure and 1,000-year history of development that informs the growth of our own system. It's flexible enough to be changed to fit local needs, but it also is firm enough not to produce some of the anomalies that are common in those countries that attempt to fashion a whole new government system out of whole cloth. Many people have tried to do that, and many have failed, and a lot of countries around the world look back at the Westminster system and say, you know what, let's start there. For Canada, the Westminster form of government itself is not responsible for the problems that we're encountering. Rather, it's actually ways that it's been changed through Pierre Trudeau's Constitution that have twisted and bent the Westminster system into an unequal and imbalanced system. These particular provisions, such as the inequality of different provinces or the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, are not native to the Westminster model as a whole, and there's something that can be altered without altering the whole system of government that we have. Now, some look at Canada and they say, Canada itself is the issue. Canada is nothing but bad. But Canada has not always been broken. Canada has not always been abusive. And this is a vital thing to realize as we pursue independence. There was a time when the country did indeed work well, even as occasionally we had our disagreements and problems with the rest of Canada. We're able to work it out because in general we were all marching the same direction. We all had a common sense of national culture and of purpose. We all saw things roughly the same way, and our regional variations didn't overcome this unity that we had. But the common direction was broken. And that's been since the 1970s, as Trudeau's new idea of Canada took over and broke the consensus that had been shared beforehand among Canadians. The glories of Canada's past are our glories too, and we have the right to be proud of John A. Macdonald, George Etienne Cartier, of Vimy Ridge and Juno Beach, because this is the country that Albertans helped to make. And it's the country that we love. It wasn't Albertans who tear down statues, who rename memorials, who claim that we're a genocidal state with no national identity. We understand the greatness and the purpose of Canada past, and we want to maintain that Canada through an independent Alberta. The past of Canada and Canada as a whole is not our problem. Now, some people look at Easterners and they say, clearly this is the problem. They lash out and they say, Easterners are the issue. They see that indeed there is a vastly different culture and values in the East. And they take the next step then and decide that it's right to hate Easterners. Some would even say things like Eastern creeps and bums, as certain famous people did. But this, I don't think, is a healthy focus for our movement. We do believe in self-determination, and we should believe that the rest of Canada has the right to determine its own way. They have the right to have a different culture, different goals, different focuses even. It's Confederation. And the imbalances of Ottawa that have broken this down, they have led us to the problem, not the normal people of Eastern Canada. We can gain our independence, and we can still be friends and maintain cordial relations with those in the rest of Canada after we're gone. There's no need to hate and to divide ourselves. Now, maybe we should look at the Conservative Party of Canada. First of all, it's a national party, and that means that the interests of the party cannot solely line up with those of Westerners, despite the fact that we're far and away the biggest source of membership and funds for them. We must recognize that if they want to be elected in the East, they do have to value what the Easterners are doing as well as Westerners. This is a sad reflection on the reality of the imbalances of Confederation, for sure, but it is a reality. They're the best that we have as a conservative option in Canada. And until we're independent, we should work to ensure that they can have the maximum electoral victory possible, because guess what? The Liberal Party of Canada is the heir of Pierre Trudeau, and they won't be the friend of our purposes as an independence movement. Now, there are others in the movement who look at the United Conservative Party of Alberta, and they believe that there too we should be attacking them, or we should be telling them that unless they're an independence-focused party, they're wrong and they're bad, and we should even fight against them. Some even are going so far as to say we need to start a new party that's an independence party. But here's the problem with that. We don't need new political parties. We don't need a provincial government that is an independence government. We need a provincial government that does its job, that focuses on the good of Albertans, and that gives us the freedom to do what we need to do, which is to hold our referendum, have our voice be heard, and help move independence down the path. We have that in the United Conservative Party. They're willing to let us be the people, have our voice, and allow that voice to be heard. That's what we need from a government in Alberta right now. We don't need an independence party. I hope then that everyone in our movement will keep laser focused on the problem. Ottawa, Parliament, the Laurentian elites, and Pierre Trudeau's Constitution. These are the things that are blocking us, holding us back, stopping us from being all that we can be as a province. It's the federal government that we must separate ourselves from. It's a wrong-headed parliament that doesn't value Albertans that we have to defend ourselves from. It's a Laurentian cabal that seeks to govern the whole country for their own selfish ends that we have to turn against. And it's the twisted constitution of Pierre Trudeau that we must reject, allowing the people of Alberta to create a new and effective one that both preserves and values our heritage and looks forward to a better future. I hope we keep that focus. I hope we don't get distracted by the wrong target. We have a bright hope for tomorrow, so let's fight for it.